Hello and welcome to this week's episode of War Eagle Weekly. I'm trying to sound real positive and happy here, Josh, but
It's
we are
hard, man.
recording this after the devastating loss to Yale. We were going to record before the Yale game, but we just couldn't hold in that excitement and wanted to talk about that game as soon as possible. And now all of a sudden, neither one of us really want to go down that path. But here we are, Josh. Either way, we're
Yeah.
going to review some stuff. A lot has happened since our last episode. First off, how are you feeling? Are you doing okay?
Man, the hurt just doesn't stop.
Mm-mm.
It just doesn't stop. I'm trying to be like, okay, give it our all, but I keep going back to the same daggum thing, and I know everybody else is going back to, and it just
Yeah,
it just hurts.
yeah. And the thing is it's one of those things where like, the roller coaster of being an Auburn fan. Because
It's
you're
true.
you're feeling really good heading into the tournament. You're like, hey, this is it, and then man, just disappointment. But before we get into the NCAA tournament talk, let's first talk about the SEC tournament because you
Some good
know
news.
congratulations to this team. We haven't talked
Absolutely.
about the Mississippi State game, so we'll start there. These guys did a fantastic job in that game. It was a dogfight. I mean, you and I both were watching the Mississippi State Tennessee game the day before, and we were both just, Hubbard is a dog, dude.
He
Guy
is.
is guy is going to be crazy good, and
If he
this
doesn't leave
Auburn,
for the league.
this yeah, well, if he doesn't, this Auburn team, they really fought hard in that game. And hey, congratulations to Mississippi State. You made it the most difficult win that Auburn's had this year, and they really made us work for it. Anything really stick out and stand out to you in that game, Josh?
The fact that we held Mississippi State to 20% 3-point shooting,
Yeah,
big thing for me because they shot 15 of them, only hit three.
yeah,
That, in my book, is pretty darn big.
yeah. No, it was fantastic, and feeling pretty good heading into the championship game, especially when Alabama loses, especially when Tennessee loses, especially when
Yes.
Kentucky loses. You're feeling
And
really good
especially since we
heading.
got to play a team we needed our get back on.
Yeah, that too. And I told you I was
Yes.
like, I, I kind of want to play Texas A&M. I'm a little scared of Florida, but we really came back. First off, we want to say, our condolences go out to the Florida fan base and the Florida team, losing their
Yes.
center to that player, their center to that injury is, you never like to see it. Hopefully, he has a full recovery and can keep doing what he's doing. But
Yeah, you can't help but feel for Micah Handlogton. You can't help but feel he didn't get to fight with his brothers in the championship game. He didn't get to fight with his brothers in the tournament. It just I feel for that entire fan base, and I really hope he
yeah,
has a speedy and complete recovery.
and you never want to see that happen to opposing
No,
players.
ever.
Yeah, as you and I have discussed before, we would love for a player to leave the game on the opposing team, but we don't want to ever see them.
Not end his
It,
season or
yeah,
possibly career.
yeah. So
It's heartbreaking all around.
and it's hard as a team. It's hard to recover from that. And so, Florida, there was a couple moments where they still hung in there and they still fought. So kudos to them and good job to them. They just couldn't stick it out there towards the end of the half. But Auburn raises, an SEC championship banner for the second time in 5 years now.
5 years, yep.
So first time since 2019. Um, you kept saying it, man, all year this year. You were talking about how good this team was, and you thought that they could be as good as that 2014. Dude, I gotta tell you, after that game, I was bought in. You had me sold, man. I was like, Josh was right. This dude is he's it's pro. He's talking some
I
prophecy.
know
He's
ball.
prophetic, and yeah, and I was really excited. So hey, we'll get to raise the banner next year. Um, I've said it before, quoting the Wishbone podcast, Van Allen Plexico said he's quoting somebody as well, and I meant to write it down because I actually talked about it in this last week's episode. Enjoy winning as much as or more than you hate losing. Something to that extent. And so I'm really going to enjoy this SEC championship win because we had to run the gauntlet there for a little bit and did good. And the thing is this team was supposed to not do so great this year, and they really turned it around and really did a lot of great things. But later that night on Sunday, we head into Sunday night, and we're waiting for the NCAA tournament seeds to happen. I'm watching it live. I know you were at work, but I was texting you updates constantly on that. We find out that we're a 4 seed, and not only that, Josh, but we're playing in Spokane, freaking Washington. When I sent you that text of where we're going to be playing and what our seed was, what was your thoughts? What was your initial thoughts?
I don't give a shit. Let's play ball. I really didn't care. I wanted us to just go out and prove everybody wrong. So the seeding didn't really matter to me until I actually sat down and really looked at who was in the same damn region as us.
Yeah.
After I sat down and looked at that, I was like, they screwed Auburn. Auburn got screwed.
Yeah, no, it was a tough draw for sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
Just let you know that they don't pay attention to the tournament, or at least they don't pay attention to the SEC tournament because that was ridiculous. It would have been nice if they had switched up Kentucky and Auburn after we won the SEC title. That would have been nice to see, but they had already made that decision.
They got legacy seeding is what Kentucky got.
Yeah.
They got legacy seeding.
Yeah. So, and the fact that we were playing in Spokane, I know you and I both were hoping that they'd be in Salt Lake City.
Yes.
But even still, Spokane is still another, 10 and a half hours away from Salt Lake City. So it's an extra bit of distance. And then not only
traveling across country is hard for everybody.
Yeah. You saw what happened with the Auburn versus Cal game, having to travel across the country in football. So
that one was a roller coaster.
Yeah. So it was very difficult. It sucked to see the seeding. And then, like you said, just who were playing in the region. I mean, you're talking UConn, Iowa State. You have San Diego State, who's one of those teams that could definitely do some damage here in the tournament. I sent you a picture. CBS actually did a little thing. They were talking about, all these stipulations of a national champion never did this during the regular season, never lost by, like more than 20 points or never, had a losing record on the road. And Auburn was one of 10 teams that had a legitimate chance. Well, of those 10 teams that they had up there on CBS, 5 of them, and then 6, including Auburn, were in our region.
So tough. Oh my gosh.
Okay. And then an additional 2 were on the same side of the bracket. So we would have had to face the other 2 in the final 4 is what I was telling you. And then the final 2 were on the other side of the bracket. Talk about the group of death for those that follow FIFA World Cup. They always talk about the group of death. The East region was the group of death because that was ridiculous and unfair to everybody involved there because it was a tough seeding all around, man.
No kidding, man. And even if Auburn did get to the Sweet 16, they obviously would have played UConn. Guess where the Sweet 16 is being played?
Boston, 2 hours away from
right
UConn's
next door
campus.
to UConn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's just none of it. This year sucked in March Madness. It was sucky. Except for you, man. Your bracket's doing really freaking good.
Yeah. So far, it's been pretty good. But we were watching Thursday night. Was it Thursday night? Yeah, Thursday night. We were pretty happy about seeing Kentucky lose to Oakland, and we were thinking, all right, get yours. And that was about the time that I started kind of getting a little nervous about Yale. It was more of a pregame nervousness and a potential nervousness, but it was one of those things where I always thought we were going to win. And heading into that game, boy, did we start hot. Went on a 10-2
Oh my
run,
gosh.
looked real good, looked like we are going to run them out the gym. And then I think it's safe to say one of our favorite players on this team gets ejected. 6 minutes into the game, and everything changed at
So
that point.
screwy.
Yeah.
Such
Uh,
bull crap.
talk a little bit about what what you were going through whenever Chad Baker Mazara got ejected there at the 6 minute mark.
Man. What okay, first I want to clarify. I don't condone what Chad did.
Mm-hmm.
Retaliation's not the thing to do, especially in the biggest stage of the year so far.
Yeah.
There's no place for retaliation, but the refs I feel like treated him unfairly because he has had a few antics on the court throughout the season, and the
Yeah.
refs were like, no, we're not going to deal with it, and they just made an example out of him, and I think it's bull crap, to be honest with you. I think it was a flagrant one, no doubt. Flagrant two, no way. What he retaliated against was the Yale player on the drive before Yale just scored. A Yale player pushed back and punched CBM in the friggin' throat right in front of the ref that ejected Chad. And
Yeah.
then they see Chad elbow him and, like, yep, you're gone. So it's always the second guy that gets caught.
Yeah.
Always. And
Doesn't
it's
matter what
super
sport it is.
unfortunate that it happened 3 minutes into the game. I feel really bad for, the Auburn fans. I feel terrible for Chad because I don't know if you know this, but Chad's dad flew in from the Dominican Republic
Mm.
to watch him play in March
Oh.
Madness and didn't even get to see his son play but for 3-5 minutes. So it was heartbreaking on multiple levels. It was irritating. It was hard to see. It was irritating to see, and just it did not make sense to me, and I don't think it made sense to a whole lot of basketball fans out there because he did not deserve to be ejected for elbowing him in the chest. It just
Okay.
did not make any freaking sense.
So that's where you and I differ because we differed at the time that it happened. I I believe it was a flagrant two. It was not. It was uncalled for. Like you said, it's the second guy that always gets caught. It's retaliation. I get that, and I understand that point of view. But man, you just can't do that. You can't
Mm-mm.
do that on, again, like you said, the biggest, up to that point, the biggest stage of the year. And the thing is maybe if it's another 5-10 minutes into the game, maybe Chad doesn't act that way because his juices aren't flowing as much as they were at that point. Maybe he's just a little overly excited. But you know, you hate to see it, and I hated to see him get ejected, and I hate that he got ejected. But I can't disagree with the fact that it was a flagrant two. It was
There's no way
malicious.
that's a flagrant two.
It was malicious. He
No
looked
way.
over to see the guy and gave him the elbow. It just everything screamed flagrant two in my book. And the thing is a couple of the guys on the CBS stage at halftime they agreed as well. But it sucked. It sucked. I mean, and I'm not saying that. And there's so much of your statement and your beliefs on that I agree with, but I do believe it was a flagrant two, and so I know we disagree there. But like you
Yeah, we're gonna have
said,
to agree to disagree on that one.
yeah. But I mean, up to this point, I would say at this stage in the season, arguably, Chad Baker Mazzara was our second most important player. I mean, Jalen Williams is definitely our second best player, I think. But I think Chad Baker Mazzara at this point was our second most impactful player. He was our second most
Yeah,
important player.
definitely one of the more important players. He
Yeah,
he didn't really light the stat sheet up every night. He was consistent. You think he was solid for 11 to 13 points a night, which is huge. We need those
yeah,
points. But I think for the starters especially, he was the energy guy. He was the morale guy,
yeah.
which is why we have KD and Dylan coming in with the second team. Those are the energy and morale guys, and Chad was that for the starters, and that just took all the breath away. Because then after
Mhm.
that, I think Yale went on an 8 or 10 to nothing run
It was bad.
right after Chad got ejected, and it just holy smokes! I don't, you can't really speak on whether or not him being ejected really altered the outcome of the game, but you can't really say that it wouldn't have, because I mean, Auburn had a ton of chances, a
We
ton of
did.
chances.
But if Chad Baker Mazzaro plays, we win that game. I truly believe that because
I
he
just
would
don't know. Well, Cameron,
defensively.
that guy on their
Defensively.
team shot.
I
That
know.
guy shot, what was it, 6 of 9 from three? They
Yeah,
were 45% from three. You can't,
but
and
Chad
you
would have
couldn't
been the guy
defend that
on
guy
that.
any better.
Chad would have been the guy on that. He would have I still believe I think Chad would have been able to do more, and maybe he misses two more shots. Okay? And then that's what we need.
He
But
could have. Right now we're playing the shoulda, coulda, woulda
right,
game,
right.
and you just
It's
really
true.
you
It's
can't
true.
really tell.
But you I mean you can definitely tell that the wind went out of our sails at that moment. We it
Absolutely.
took us the rest of the first half, honestly, to really settle back down and to start playing our game. And just before that, we didn't even talk about this. Jalen Williams rolls his ankle,
I
and
was just about to bring that up.
and dude,
Because
he
you could
never looked
tell.
the same. Never looked the same. I mean, he was out there playing his heart out, and man, on his face, you could never believe that he was hurt.
No.
But you watch
Just
the
by his
way
movement, so you could definitely
yeah,
tell.
yeah, he wasn't moving the
On
same.
his two dunks right after, he barely got to the rim, and we all
Yeah,
know how high of a flyer he is, and he could barely get to the rim on those dunks. And it's just, in my opinion, even if Chad still got ejected, if Jalen never got hurt, we would have had 100% Jalen instead of a 60% Jalen,
that's true.
and I think that is bigger than Chad being ejected.
And well, and that's fair. Um, but yeah, I mean, like the commentators, they obviously hadn't watched Auburn this year because they were just like, yeah, no, he looks totally fine. And you and I both were just like, hey, we've watched every game. Like there's probably been two games combined that we haven't seen this year,
Yeah, probably.
maybe. And so we could easily tell that something was wrong, and he just wasn't himself. He didn't have as much explosiveness, and when he landed, he always seemed to be like doing that little hop skip where he's
Little
trying to
hobble. Yep.
trying to get it to work itself out because it probably was killing himself in pain, and that speaks volumes to Jalen Williams. That dude laid everything out. He was not coming out of that game.
Freaking competitor.
You were not
No,
keeping him out of that game. And you know what? Hopefully he's okay, and hopefully it's just a sprained ankle, and hopefully it's nothing serious. But I personally wouldn't be surprised if if it came out that he seriously hurt himself and they were like, hey dude, you probably don't need to be playing. And he said,
he
screw
just
my
shut it down.
NBA prospects. I'm going out there and I'm going to be playing. You're
This
not
is from
keeping
our
me off of this
brothers. Yeah.
court. Especially once Chad went down. I'm sure. But again, even still, so amazing job, Jalen Williams, because he did go out there and he was productive, and he did not necessarily look like a liability on defense either. So even though he was hurt, not himself,
He really didn't.
he still did pretty good, and I was happy with his performance. But that first half was just rough. And then man, the thing is, like you said, we had plenty of other chances to win this game. Plenty of other chances.
So friggin'
I
many.
mean, we can talk about the refs blowing whistles, but that's been the case. That's happened a few games this year, and Auburn's found a way. But the other
No,
thing
this was ridiculous,
it was
Cameron.
crazy. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. But
This was ridiculous.
but you got to play better than the worst ref, and we weren't at that level. We were not at the top of our offensive level. And when we were getting fouls, because Janai Broom was drawing the fouls, dude. We were out there. We did a good job
Yeah,
of
he
drawing some
was.
fouls, but we weren't making our free throws. What did we end up? Could you look up and see what we ended up free
Yeah,
throw
we
percentage
finished
in
on
that game?
15 to 22 for free throws. 69% is what we shot. So
Yeah.
68.2% is what we shot.
We make three more of those, and it's a completely different game.
Well,
So,
especially since we averaged 75% on the
uh-huh.
whole year.
Yeah.
And when you talk about chances to win the game, three of the biggest free throws came from Denver Jones whenever he had the N1,
Mm-hmm.
and then Trey Donaldson when we got the ball back and he missed the first free throw. I'm like, holy. Denver Jones is an 88% free throw shooter.
Yeah.
Trey Donaldson's 84% free throw shooter, and just missed the biggest free throws of the year. It's like,
And
come the frick on.
KD missed a free throw, and he's also
Yes,
one of our
know.
highest free throw shooters. But on top of that, he's 83% or something like that. But on
KD Johnson is?
Yeah, but on top of that, you think about the benefit, obviously, of making a free throw on a 1-and-1 is the potential to get 2 points. But Janai Broome, not once, but twice, missed his 1-and-1. And you think about the impact that has on the defensive end, okay? Because he makes that second shot, or he makes that first shot, he gets to take a second. He makes that second shot, we're able to set up on defense, okay?
Yeah.
Versus us having to hustle back to get on defense. So it changes a lot of aspects of the game. And so it's just all year long I've been saying, man, it's going to come back and bite us in the ass. March Madness, it's about two things. It's about two things. Free throws and guard play. Well, guess what, Josh? We didn't make our free throws and our guards did not play well. And sorry, let's specifically say our point guards did not play well. They didn't.
No, they did not. I mean, Aiden Holloway, I loved seeing him shoot more often. I thought that was going to build some confidence, but they're either wide left or just too short.
Yeah.
And it's just,
and after his third shot, I
just don't get it.
After his third shot, you could tell in his body language, he was so frustrated.
Yeah. Even the commentators, like, you could just tell he's just upset with himself and he's not in the groove that he wanted to be in. However, if you tell me that Auburn shot 50% from the court, what would you think? Do you think Auburn wins or loses that game?
You think we win?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we didn't. You want to know why we didn't? Even though we held them to 46 and we shot 50%, you want to know why we didn't win?
Because Yell and the refs controlled the pace of the game.
Yeah, they called 7 more fouls on Auburn than they did Yell. And Yell was kicking Janai in the nuts. They were hitting him low in the knees all freaking game long. Now, he did go to the line 11 times, but I don't care. Those refs were ridiculous.
They were definitely inconsistent. I'm okay with. I mean, I'd prefer them be swallow the whistle, but at the very least be consistent. And there was just times where they'd call a foul on Auburn, and then something would happen 2 or 3 possessions later that Yale does pretty much the same thing, and it doesn't get called. And so it was very inconsistent. It didn't make much sense. It was just an all-around frustrating game. And the thing is I texted from the very beginning, and I said, man, I am worried. And you just kept on telling me, hey, chill, we're good. Stop being ridiculous. And the thing is that's the way we text during games. I'm always the one, yeah. And I'm always the pessimist, and you're always telling me to shut the hell up and to chill out, So that's nothing different, and it's never going to change. But at the same time, we just never felt like we
could never get any momentum because of the refs. I don't think that Yale was really doing anything we couldn't keep up with. Janai looked like he was going to score 50 points at the beginning of the game, but that their dead eye, Poulikitis, every shot he took or every other shot he took was a push off. And it was never once called.
I
never
disagree
once
with that. I don't remember seeing any push offs. The guy shot well. The guy had a good game. Guards do that. Again, it's
game of his life for sure.
We've seen it. We saw it in the Kentucky and Oakland game. We've seen it a couple times already this year. So it just sucks. It sucks that it happened. It just we both felt like this team could make a run, and we thought the Sweet 16 was the floor for this team heading into the tournament. And hey, it was the first round. But you know what? Again, man, Auburn. It's nice to be in a spot where we're disappointed with the first round exit. Auburn basketball has not been able to do that since Bruce has been here. We have, but even then, making the NCAA tournament is, it's a big deal. and especially after just recently winning the SEC championship tournament. So
I'm not
it's
content with a first round loss.
oh no, you shouldn't
Not
be.
happy. Not
You
happy with it one
shouldn't
bit.
be. No, I totally get that, and I'm not saying that we should be content, but we again need to have perspective. And I will say this: I would much rather us make the NCAA tournament like we are on a consistent basis than to not. Is what I'm saying. That's the perspective we need to have because we could
Sure,
be
I guess.
sitting at home like Ole Miss. You know, would you
Speaking
rather
of
be
Ole
sitting at
Miss,
home? No, you wouldn't.
no,
Exactly. So,
I would not.
Bruce is going to have us back. Bruce is going to be able to bounce back from this. Hopefully this offseason we can get some point guard, production and maybe get some transfers on the point guard in. Um, so, it is what it is and it sucks. Um, Anything else from the Yale game you want to talk about? Oh, there is one thing. Again, we talked about it a little bit. We had how many chances? 4 chances in the last 10 seconds of the game
Yeah,
to get a shot in.
I will say, Janai rushed
He
the
did.
last shot.
Janai had a
He
hell of a
did.
game.
He had time to
Had a
gather.
hell of a game.
Oh, absolutely. One
And so
hell
and
of a
so
game.
I am
He
not.
had 24 points and 13
I
boards.
know.
Get out.
Yeah, I know you're not sitting here, blaming him or anything like that, or saying, "Hey,
No,
it's his fault." You're just pointing to the fact that he rushed a shot. He did. He thought that
he
there
did.
was less time on the clock. Which, hey, if I was in his position, I would have looked like a freaking idiot. Way worse than what he did. But, like you said, he rushed a shot. I agree. He did, and he
I thought that
probably
trade
had.
three was going to go in, bro.
I thought so too, but I think Janai had the best opportunity to get his
Yeah.
shot up and get the and one. But he just and maybe he rushed it because he was falling down. I don't know.
Well, he could have. He was falling down, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
So, um, but yeah, so we exit the game or the tournament and head home and lick our wounds and reload for next year.
Can only hope that Bama loses their next game.
Oh man, I really do not want them to go far. It's going to be our luck that they're going to go to a Final Four this year.
Yeah, we'll never hear the end of it. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, it's oh my gosh. So with the whole picture and us seeing the season in a finality standpoint now at this point, um, A was the season a success, and B, what would you grade the season on a whole?
Well, first off, I would say the season is a success because we weren't, like you said at the beginning, we weren't expected to go do any damage this year
Mm-mm.
because we didn't really have the known guys. We had a lot of transfers coming in from lesser competition,
Yep,
and
coming
everyone
on
thought
up.
that Bruce lost his step,
Yeah.
but it was definitely a success. We went and won the SEC tournament when Alabama and Tennessee were the clear cut favorites, and they lost in the first round that they played. So in that aspect, it is a success.
Yeah.
Seeing the first round loss, I would say that the season was graded on a B plus B minus grade. It was very hard to see our players. I mean, I feel like a lot of maybe the majority of our players gave it everything they had,
Yeah.
but there was a couple players on a team. I'm like, you are not playing with 100% effort, and it friggin' showed. And I got to bump them down a grade for seeing that. And it's just, my goodness, I friggin' hate this.
Yeah. It's a terrible feeling. It sucks. I would agree though. It was definitely a success. Anytime you make the NCAA tournament, it's a successful season. Even for your blue bloods out there, your Kansas, your Duke, your North Carolinas, you know, yeah, they're perennially in the NCAA tournament, but just being there is a success. And it's nice for us to have that expectation. I would say B minus. B minus would be my B. A solid B would be my grade on the year. I don't remember seeing anyone not give their full effort. Maybe Aiden Holloway, but the thing is,
Yep,
is he's
that's who I was really thinking
he's an
about.
18-year-old kid. He's an 18-year-old kid. He's had success his entire life, and you really don't
Doesn't
know.
freaking matter. You're a starter on a
Right.
NCAA March Madness team. You're expected to give 100%. He only shot 5 times. After his fifth shot, he's like, "Screw this. I'm not gonna shoot anymore." And he only had 1 assist. If you're telling me that is full effort, you're out of your damn mind.
Okay. Well,
You
see.
are
Okay.
delusional.
So here, let's go back to the Yale game a little bit because it is something I forgot about. If you're gonna say that he only had 1 assist, we had 4 assists at halftime as a team. Okay, that's uncalled for to begin with. So it's not just on Aiden, and I know you don't think that either. But the thing is you don't know how you're going to handle failure until you get hit in the mouth, until you fail, and hopefully he learns from it and grows from it
Yeah,
and is a better
100%.
player next year. Hopefully he's here at Auburn. I want him to stay at Auburn. I don't want him to
Yeah, I'm
transfer.
not sitting here criticizing him, hoping he leaves or anything.
Right,
I
right.
want him to stay. I'm hoping he takes this season as a stepping stone to transcend into the player we all know he can be.
Yeah, yeah. Because the thing
That's why I'm criticizing him.
is the last thing you see is the lasting impression. I agree with you there. And so the last thing you're going to see of Aiden Holloway this year is the lackluster enthusiasm that he had. But from my memory, throughout the year, he had bad games and he looked bad, but he was still out there dishing the ball. He was still out there playing defense, and he was always giving his all. So I can't agree with you on that front. There were some people
I'm just talking
that
about the
were
Yale game. I wasn't talking
okay.
about the full
Okay,
season. I was talking about the Yale game.
I thought you were talking about the
No,
whole game. Okay, or the whole season. So okay, sorry,
no.
that's my bad. And you know what? We also didn't mention it. Kudos to Chris Moore for not missing a shot in the SEC tournament. Everybody is talking about that, and yeah, he wasn't taking 30 shots, but he didn't miss a shot. He's 100% from the field. Kudos to him for that. But
In the SEC tournament or the
SEC
dance?
tournament, SEC tournament.
So he didn't
So
miss a shot the whole
no,
series.
the whole weekend there at the SEC in Nashville didn't miss a shot.
That's actually impressive.
Yeah. So, um,
Wow.
but yeah, so I would say a solid B on the year. Hopefully we get some people back. Zach Blackerby was saying that Cardwell has another year of eligibility. I don't
Yeah,
think
he
we're
can use the COVID year.
I don't think we're gonna get him back. This seemed like a finite moment in his life that he is now done with this.
Could
At
be.
Auburn, that
I don't
is.
see him having a career in the NBA. I don't see
Oh
an
no,
NBA path
no,
for
but
him.
but
So I
but we
mean, I
talked
know
about
he's making
this.
some money being on part of the NIL, so there's a chance he
Yeah.
could come back to continue to cash in on that.
But we talked about this earlier in the year that going pro, yes, in like the everyday fan, it's all about the NBA, but going pro is all the foreign leagues that are out there. You can make a lot of money playing in China. I mean, you can make a lot of money playing
It's
in
true.
Greece, and so there's a lot of pro basketball teams out there. I mean, if Leo Berman can get a pro career in Israel, then Cardwell can definitely get a pro career somewhere else.
It's true.
But hey, hopefully we get him back. You know, Janai Broom, I would love to see him back. He could come back. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's
Don't
going to
think
go.
it's
He
gonna
had such a
happen.
good
He had
year.
a
It's
hell of a year.
hard to imagine him being even better. But hey, like you said, NIL, we could throw some bag at him and
Make a lot of money.
get him to stay. Jalen Williams is done. There's nothing he can do to come
Yeah,
back.
there's no eligibility for him. He's already been here for 5 years.
So, but hopefully we get Chad Baker Mazzara back. Hopefully he doesn't transfer. Hopefully Aiden doesn't transfer. I'm sure there's
There's
going to be
been
some
so many
players.
fans. There's been a lot of fans saying that he needs to transfer for being ejected. And to those fans, I say, kick rocks.
Yeah,
Kick friggin' rocks, and I hope you stub your toe.
the
Chad
man.
Baker Mazzara, do
Mhm.
not leave, please.
Yeah,
We
the
love
man
you.
was.
Don't
He
let the
was amazing
minority
this year.
run you out. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Played out of his mind all year long.
Hmm. And is going to be a staple on this team next year. A staple.
Absolutely.
He could very well be a first team SEC next year.
I don't even know, man, because Janai Broom wasn't even first team All SEC.
He wasn't.
No,
Well, that's some BS right there.
I'm pretty sure, anyways.
Yeah, I'll let you look that up. Well, while you're looking that up, Um, you know, it's all in all, I enjoy talking about basketball. It's nice that we get the chance as Auburn fans to really talk about basketball because it's not something that's been in our DNA for a long time. Pretty much since Bruce has been here for us for our age group, I feel like
Okay, he was first team.
he was okay, but
Yeah.
it's nice to see that Bruce is going to be able to produce some teams. I know we were after Kentucky lost. There was some Kentucky fans that were throwing Bruce's name around, and a couple weeks back
You can't have him.
we got accused of a clickbait title, but apparently there's some people out there that really want him to leave. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to, but it was a topic. It was something that people were talking about. But Bruce is here, man. I don't see him leaving. If he does leave, it'll kill me. I think it would literally kill
He's
me.
built something. He's built something from the ground up here at Auburn, and
Yeah.
I really think he's going to retire a Tiger.
Yeah.
I just get that. I get that feeling in my gut, and I tend to go with my gut over everything else.
Yeah, I agree. Well, leading up, talking about the tournament, we, for those of you that saw us posting on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, invited everybody to join the War Eagle Weekly NCAA Tournament Bracket Challenge on ESPN. We had a pretty decent turnout. There are 14 different brackets in our group. We have some pretty decent brackets out there right now. We have right now, I will say I am leading the pack, but I also have one of the best brackets in the entire country, Josh.
It's true.
Of the
Yeah, you're ranked.
22.6 million people fill out an ESPN bracket, and I'm ranked, what was that again? Let's hear it.
You're ranked 32,000. It actually moved up 17,000 spots from when we started the podcast. It's ranking 32,737 in the entire country. So
let's go.
I don't know if you have the sports almanac from Back to the Future or what, but you are freaking killing it. This year, that's for sure.
If I did, I'd be a very wealthy man. I'm not.
Yeah,
wealthy.
yeah, you would.
So
you literally have one incorrect pick.
No,
on this bracket.
I got more than one. I missed the Auburn, BYU, and Kentucky.
Oh, okay. I was seeing the round of 32.
Yeah. But either way, so I'm up there at the top.
1, 2, 3. You are freaking killing it, man.
With 380 points and a possible 18-20. Next, we have War Eagle Weekly 1 bracket sitting at number 2.
That was my more serious bracket.
So yeah, you. And then we have GMJ 092761. His picks, he's got 330 points as well.
He actually just moved up the number 2 spot, and mine got moved down to the number 5 spot just now.
Okay, he's
at 89.7% accuracy.
Heck yeah, man! Congratulations. Yeah, he did. Yeah. Look at that, and you just moved down. Yeah, so thanks for letting me know. Yeah. And then we got Walkie Talkie 2 on there with 340 points, and Papa 2024s with 340. Then that's you, War Eagle Weekly 1. Then War Eagle Weekly 3. How many brackets did you
brackets
do?
In.
Holy moly! We got Bo Picks, his main bracket, sitting at 330 points. So everybody's really tied right there around that 330 point range. We got Walkie Talkie Picks number 1 there as well with 310. So.
There's just so many upsets this year, man. It's just everybody's bracket got busted in the first round.
Not mine.
Oh my gosh.
I'm doing good.
Shut up. How about that? Shut up.
AAJ 273785, 290 points. GMJ 092761's pick number 3 is in 13th place, and 14th place is probably yours. Yeah, War Eagle Weekly 5. I'm not sure how that happens. You had TCU winning the whole damn thing. That was idiotic.
That was just a fun bracket.
So
nothing serious.
Good luck to everybody there. Obviously, I hope I win. I'm a very competitive person, but if I do not win, good luck to everyone else out there.
Thanks for participating for sure.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Next year, hopefully, we'll have even more people joining up
Yeah.
and helping us out with these picks. Um, Josh, anything more to say? It's kind of a short episode, but we even had to wait an extra day because it was just too fresh
We
yesterday.
are all up in our friggin' fields, man.
Yeah,
We are all in our fields, and
we
I'm not
both
ashamed to admit that.
we,
So,
we both had to log on to Call of Duty and kill some people to
yeah,
let out some rage.
yeah. Seeing Dune 2 tonight definitely helped me get in
Oh
a
yeah,
better spirit.
that was nice. That was
Yeah.
nice. So
So, I mean, all I got to say is War Damn Eagle to everybody. Bama, you suck. I hope you lose. And Lane Kiffin, man, keep letting us know when you're dreaming about us, because we live rent free in your mind. So
it does
screw
seem like
you
we
and
are.
and War Eagle.
War Eagle, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe. We want to get our subscribers up. Do not forget to hit that notification bell. Also, everyone, we did set up a subscription service on our Facebook group. It's set up for 99 cents a month. We want to produce some
Just $1.
more good content to you guys. If you're able to help us out, that would be awesome. Uh, that's going to be the biggest sell that you're going to hear from me, though. So, War Eagle Joshua, War Eagle
War
everybody,
Eagle, man.
and hey, we're going to get them next year. Going to get them next year.
We'll be back.
Number
We'll be
one.
back. Hell yeah, baby. War Eagle.